It's the second-place Red Sox and the Yankees. They possess a galaxy of stars. Boggs in his batting titles. Clark in his power. A career 300 hitter, Mike Greenwell. But it is Roger Clemens who is the key. Clemens won his first 6 starts of the year, and the Red Sox were in first place. Then suddenly, his season stalled. He lost 8 of his next 14, and the Red Sox fell to 11.5 games back. Almost everyone had left the Sox for dead. Then fortunes reversed. Boggs' bat caught fire. Rookie Phil Plantier made a powerful return for the minor leagues. But mostly it was Clemens. He pitched a 4-hitter, then a 3-hitter to finish August, and a 2-hitter in his most recent start. And the Sox are only 4 back of the Jays. Tonight they face the Yankees, whose Mel Hall shocked them on Memorial Day. Mattingly and the Yanks meet Clemens and the Sox. This is the big ballpark in the Bronx, where tonight ESPN Sunday Night Baseball features the second-place Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. Today, Toronto was beaten by Oakland, and so Boston, with a win here, will move back to within 3.5 games of the first-place Blue Jays. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller along with Joe Morgan, and tonight we've got some pennant race action for you. Not for the Yankees, who look like they might even surprise and be a contender along about the All-Star break, but the second half has been miserable for them. But for the Red Sox, since they were 11.5 out, they are 27-8. And Roger Clemens goes tonight. And Joe, you would guess that if they're going to overcome the Blue Jays coming from behind, that Clemens will have to win probably just about every start he makes from here on.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about that. But the Red Sox expect him to win every start, every time he goes to the mound. But he started off great. The team started off great. He struggled a little bit in the middle. The team struggled. Now he's hot again, and the team is playing well again. And on top of that, Wade Boggs, who is a .350 lifetime hitter over the second half of a season, is hitting his thing again, doing his thing. And also, Phil Plantier has come back after making some adjustments in the minor leagues.
All right, now Phil Plantier and Mo Vaughn, 2 very impressive young players from the farm system. And Plantier especially has been red hot. He hit one in the 3rd deck here just the other night.
Well, he went to the minor leagues, and he came out of his crouch a little bit. He felt like he could not get the same swing here that he was getting in the minor leagues. So he's changed his stance. He's come back, and he's hit .413 since he's been back with 5 home runs. He did not hit any home runs before he went down the first time.
Now, the Yankees have had some surprises of their own, including Mel Hall, who's had an excellent year. He hurt his back the other day, but no way, he said, he's going to miss this series because he hates the Red Sox. He said, I don't care who wins the American League East, just as long as it's not the Red Sox.
Well, Mel Hall has been the most pleasant surprise for the Yankees this year. At the beginning, it was Kevin Moss, Mattingly, the usual names. But Mel Hall has led the team in runs batted in, and he has a lot fewer at-bats than anyone else on the ball club. He has been the key for this ball club so far.
All right, now, Mattingly, who's not the powerful hitter he once was, still hitting right around 300. So is Steve Sachs. And they've mixed in some of those young players as well as the veteran Mel Hall, who's also hitting 300. So the Yankees are ready to give Clemens a run for tonight at Yankee Stadium.
Well, you take Steve Sachs. He's an everyday player that has done a great job hitting over 300. Mattingly says he needs to drive the ball in the gaps a little bit more if he's going to produce runs.
All right, so we're about ready to play ball, the Yankees and the Red Sox from the Bronx. And it will be Roger Clemens on the mound for Boston, and he has been red hot. He'll be opposed by a hard-throwing right-hander, Eric Plunk.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball is brought to you by Smooth Bush Beer and Easy Drinkin' Bush Light. By Casio, watches that do more than keep time, they keep you ahead of the game. And by Isuzu, for features, styling, and price, there's no comparison.
How to live like a mountain man. A true mountain man lives a solitary life. living for nothing more than an honest day's work and the rugged companionship of his fellow mountain men. It's a full-time job, but it does have its rewards, like smooth bush beer and easy drinking Busch Light. So, head for the mountains. Because once a mountain man has his mountains, what more could he possibly want?
Casio presents some of the hottest new faces in sports. He's 7'1", standing still, but when he lifts off, that's another story. He goes basket to basket in seconds flat. And energy, he's got plenty to burn. David Robinson and Casio. Because Casio watches do more than keep time. They keep you ahead of the game.
If you're a comparison shopper, come to the Isuzu Invitational. At $2,300 off, you might discover that you're a real trooper. Or maybe you'll discover you're a stylish person. And even if you're an impulse buyer, you'll find yourself in for a real pickup. So if you're thinking about a change, be a trooper and hurry to the Isuzu Invitational to compare and save on Isuzu cars and trucks. Or really just save, because with Isuzu, there's no comparison.
Coming to you hot and fresh from Domino's Pizza, Domino's Pepperoni Pizza Feast with extra pepperoni and cheese. Now a medium's just $8.99 or 2 for $12.99.
Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pizza at home.
The all-terrain soles of the new high-performance rockboards have a technologically unique design of lugs and grooves and gripping cups in a high-traction gummy rubber compound. So you won't fall off the mountain. Rockboards, all-terrain vehicles for your feet.
John Miller and Joe Morgan back here at Yankee Stadium. And a look now at the starting lineup for the visiting Boston Red Sox. It will be Wade Boggs at third base. Jody Reed at second base. The impressive young left-handed slugger Phil Plantier in right field. Jack Clark, the Ripper, hitting cleanup, the DH. Mike Greenwell is in left field. The hulking rookie left-handed slugger Mo Vaughn at first base. Steve Lyons in center field. Ellis Burks is hurting. Tony Pena, the veteran catcher, bats 8th. Luis Rivera is the shortstop, batting 9th. And on the mound for the Yankees, a 28-year-old right-hander, Eric Plunk.
Well, Plunk throws very hard, has a lot of movement on his fastball. Control has been his problem throughout his career.
There's Matt Noakes, his battery mate.
And Matt Noakes has had 5 two-homer games since July 6th. That's amazing.
He leads the Yankees in home runs for the years. So here's Boggs to lead it off. He's hitting .335. You see that. He always gets a lot of walks this year. No different. Excellent on-base percentage. 8 homers, 48 RBIs, 37 doubles, 2 triples. The man just gets on base, and he gives those hitting behind him many RBI opportunities. So here we go. And there is a strike.
John, one of the interesting things talking to Boggs before the ball game, I found out is one of the reasons he started hitting better is he went to a lighter bat. He said that really opened up the whole field for him. What that means is now he can pull the ball. You know, most of the time in the past you played Wade Boggs left, center, over. And now he feels like with a lighter bat, he can take a little more advantage of the hole on the right side of the infield.
The outfield plays him toward left nonetheless. Plunk, hard thrower. That's a called strike. Rick Reed, the home plate umpire. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And they clocked him there, Joe, at 92 miles an hour.
Well, he throws very hard, and his fastball is alive. It had a lot of movement on it.
And did that come up and get him in the face?
Either that or some dirt flew up and got in his eyes. It's a good slider there from Plunk. It's a slider down and in. Boggs fouls it. Gets him on the left ear. You don't need to hear to hit anyway.
What's that?
You don't have to hear to hit.
Pardon me? Just trying to show you what a good hitter I was. Right. 2-2 the count to Boggs. Reed and Plantier will follow. The Red Sox 27-8 since they were 11.5 back of the Blue Jays. Just off the outside, 3-2. Now that's a pretty good stretch run, 27-8. And the Sox take a lot of grief for various things, but 27-8 I think is pretty self-explanatory. In the stretch, that means pretty good ball club, a lot of heart. And Boggs draws a walk.
The defense for the Yankees, Don Mattingly, Gold Glove winner at first. Steve Sachs playing good defense this year at second. Alvaro Espinosa is a shortstop. Randy Velarde is at third. Bernie Williams is now the center fielder. Roberto Kelly has moved over to left from center, and Mel Hall is in right, sore back and all.
And he is not running very well, either in right field or on the bases, but he wants to be in there to see if he can help beat the hated Red Sox.
I laughed when you said that in our open, but there were teams I hated as well when I played. I just wanted to make sure that we beat that team on that particular day. So it does happen.
Jody Reed, the hitter, that is foul down the left field line. Reed comes into the game hitting .273, 36 doubles with his 3 homers and 43 RBIs. On deck is Phil Plantier. Well, Mel Hall is just the latest in a long line of people on either side here who have hated the other team for a long time.
Another reason the Red Sox have done well is Jody Reed in the second slot. He started off very slowly this year. Now he's swinging the bat well again.
A ball and a strike.
I asked Wade Boggs today if, how important is a manager in a pennant race, and he said he thinks they are important because they can lose a lot of ball games for you trying to make extra moves that are not necessary. And I agree with that. Not to say that Joe Morgan or anyone else has done that, but that is one of the things that can happen to a manager in a pennant race.
1 ball, 1 strike to Jody Reed. Boggs at first, and he's back over there. Mattingly playing him on the bag.
Wade Boggs has had 167 hits, 85 walks, and he's only attempted 1 stolen base this year. So he's on base, so often, and he still does not attempt a stolen base.
Well, I remember talking to Joe Morgan, the manager, about the possibility that the White Sox were stealing signs at the new Comiskey Park. Some managers had made that claim, and Joe Morgan says, well, they're welcome to mine because we don't have any signs. What are our signs? Just hit away.
Yeah. But you would think that they would try some hit and runs at least.
That's deep down the left field line. This one has a chance, and that is number 4 for Jody Reed. 2-0 Boston. Only 3:18 down the line, and Jody Reed found it. And Boston has jumped ahead for Clemens, much to the chagrin of Stump Merrill.
Like I said, try hit and run. He hit it, now they're running.
Yeah, they're kind of a hit and run.
Yeah. Well, he has been swinging the bat well, as I mentioned, and he's a very important cog in this Red Sox attack because he hits in the second spot, and you're going to have a lot of runners on, especially Wade Boggs. This is Plunk's problem. He gets the ball in the middle of the plate, and it's actually moving in a little bit to Jody Reed, and he just turns on it. And with it being only 3:18 down the line, doesn't take much of a poke.
Jody Reed now with 14 hits in his last 30 at bats. And also against the Yankees this year, he is now hitting .500. Now this is Phil Plantier. And look at those numbers. 5 homers and 23 RBIs for Plantier, and he's only had 80 at bats. Ooh. A mighty cut. 1 ball, 1 strike. He hit one into the 3rd deck here just the other night. He said it was the longest home run that he has hit, obviously as a big leaguer. Hit a couple in the minors, he said, that might have been longer, but this was certainly the most important one. Check swing in there for a strike, says Rick Reed.
I don't want to take anything away from him, but you have to remember it's a short porch in right field, so the 3rd deck is not a monstrous blast. It's the big home run in this ballpark, but it's not like it would be a big home run in the Astrodome or someplace like that.
We keep talking about home runs in the Astrodome, and I keep saying, well, where?
Right.
When? Give me a date. 2-2 the count.
As you mentioned, the first time he came up, he hit .235 in his first stay with the Red Sox. No home runs. He went back down, got his act together, and since he's been back, he's hit 5 home runs and hitting .413.
That is out of play. 2-2. This was Plantier Friday night against the Yankees' Jeff Johnson.
Tell you what, he swung at it like it's a mighty home run, so maybe I'm wrong there.
The Scooter thought it was pretty, he thought it was pretty long. Holy cow, that's a base hit for Plantier. Still nobody out. I don't know how long Plunk is going to last in this one.
Well, you obviously cannot fall behind Roger Clemens too often and expect to come back and win. So that is the test. It's a breaking ball that kind of hangs out over the plate. And he just reaches out and lines it into center field. That's a good 2-strike swing.
And now the ripper. Jack Clark. Plantier over at first. And don't expect him to be running either. 22 homers, 77 batted in for Jack. That is a strike. You saw there just before the replay, Mark Connor, the Yankee pitching coach, head over to the phone to call the bullpen. So we are going to get some activity out there for the Yankees now. 2-0, Boston ahead, and it is strike 2 to Clark. Right-hander Dave Island has begun warming up in the Yankee bullpen. Well, this is not unusual for the Red Sox. 27-8. Those numbers keep going around in your mind. And Jack Clark is gone just like that. And Mike Greenwell is coming up. Clark has been hurting.
Yes. And that curveball there will hurt him a lot more. It's a very good curveball. Plunk has a good curveball. He hung the curveball to Plantier. Plantier lined it into center field. This is not a hanger. See, it's diving low and away. Almost a perfect pitch. Watch Noakes how he reaches down and away to get that pitch. That's the spot to throw a curveball.
Back on August 26th, Clark suffered a torn calf muscle in his right calf. He missed 9 ball games. Back in there, but it will need the winter time to heal up fully.
Well, it was unfortunate for Jack and the Red Sox because he was really swinging the bat well at that time. He hit a home run on the next pitch after he tore it, and it was probably the slowest home run trot you've ever seen. He could barely walk around the bases. I thought they were going to have to send a pinch runner out there.
Here's Greenwell, and he takes a strike. I remember seeing that happen to Jack when he was with the Yankees in spring training in Miami. I think he was with the Yankees, what, in 87 or 88, and he hit a home run at Miami Stadium and was hurt. And again, it took him 10 minutes to go around the base paths, it seemed. 0-1 to Greenwell, another 300 hitter for the Red Sox. This is a high fly ball, but a routine play for Bernie Williams. Back to first will go Plantier.
Now, I've seen high-top shoes, that new high-top look, but look at the ones that Plantier has on. And those look like Mike Tyson's boots. Look like boxing shoes.
It's a new macho look in baseball, Joe.
Okay.
You know, like, don't fool around with me.
Maybe he's going to try it for the WWF. Look at those. It definitely doesn't look like baseball shoes. Ty Cobb's rolling over in his grave right now. What are they doing to these, to the game?
Here's Mo Vaughn. Now, he doesn't need those kind of high-top shoes to look macho. I mean, this guy is big and strong, and he shows it. And they think he's going to be one of those guys, could be a 35 or 40 home run a year man. Mo Vaughn, 4 homers, 28 batted in. He's at 173 at bats. That's a high drive deep in the right center. Williams is back, and he's there, and he's got it.
He hits at 385. It's an out. Jody Reed hits at 318. It's a 2-run homer.
It's just not fair. Boston 2, the Yankees coming up.
Dan Larson knows a secluded course where the holes are challenging, but the fees aren't. Now, where do you suppose he'd rent a car? budget, where every rental passes 25 quality checks and price is not a handicap. The smart money is on budget. Get a smart rate on a Lincoln. $199 per week, $39 each extra day with unlimited mileage. The smart money is on budget.
The company picnic's on today. No one's working, it's time to play. We're having fun with the whole crew. Nothing beats a ball with you, yeah. Nothing beats our best Budweiser. Nothing beats a Bud. And we'll toast and cheer with the king of beers. Nothing beats a Bud.
Dear Thompson's, I swear by Thompson's water seal. But recently, when it ran out, my son finished with another brand. Then it rained. What a difference. Thompson's beat it up, the other brand nothing. Thanks for a product you can believe in. Marvin Snoddy, Locust Grove, Virginia.
Welcome back to Yankee Stadium in New York, New York, as Reggie Jackson used to call it, the big ballpark. The Yankees starting lineup now is announced by Stump Merrill, the manager. Steve Sachs having an excellent year. He's in second base. Bernie Williams in center field, an excellent young rookie. Don Mattingly hitting around 300 at first base. Mel Hall, it's been his best year in right field. Roberto Kelly is in left field. Matt Noakes, who leads the Yankees in home runs, having one of his best years, is the catcher. Kevin Moss struggling terribly since the early going, the DH. Alvaro Espinosa at shortstop, and at third base batting ninth, Randy Velarde. And of course, none of them can be happy to see that man on the mound, and the Rocket living up to that nickname once again here in the stretch run.
Well, he has won 3 of his last 4 decisions. He's pitched a 4-hitter, a 3-hitter, and a 2-hitter. Maybe he's going to drop down to a 1-hitter now. But the real story of Roger Clemens is the 204 strikeouts there. He is a power pitcher, and he is an overpowering power pitcher.
Well, Clemens has won 15 games this year, including his first 6 in a row. Then he went through a down period, and people were genuinely concerned. And I know when you saw him there for a while, you thought maybe he was ailing.
Yeah, he did not have the same smoothness in his motion. The rhythm was not the same as what we had seen when he was 6-0. And it just seemed like something was bothering him in his shoulder.
Quite an interesting battery. You got Clemens on the mound, and he's one of the best there is. And this is one of the best receivers around, and has been for a long time, Tony Pena.
The great thing about Tony Pena is how he works the pitchers. He's not the greatest thrower, not the greatest defensive catcher, but he works the pitchers as well as any catcher you'll ever see.
Steve Sachs will lead it off for the Yanks. He's hitting .303. Sachs got off to a real slow start this year, but he really got hot. And you mentioned Boggs going to a lighter bat. Well, that's what Sachs did. And you see those 8 home runs. That's a career record for him. And most of those homers have been pulled right down the left field line, much like Jody Reed's in the first inning here. That's ball 1. Sachs attributes that to the lighter bat.
There are a lot of hitters who hit the ball back through the middle, right center, left center, that can really benefit by going to a lighter bat. As you see, he's done very well against Roger Clemens. But there are a lot of hitters who are pull hitters. The lighter bat will hurt more than it would help. But both of the players we're talking about really are not pull hitters. They hit the ball back through the middle and to the alley, so it really benefits them a little more.
Well, and Sachs said that he kept hitting these little fly balls to right field,
yeah,
and they kept catching them.
Right. That will cause you to change.
1 ball, 1 strike. Sachs hitting .303. And up. Another base hit for Sachs.
One of the reasons I believe he hits well against Roger Clemens is that Steve Sachs really comes from the National League. And the National League, you know, through the years that he was there, had a lot of hard throwers. And he's used to hard throwers. Whereas, you know, the American League for so many years has been called a breaking ball league. And Sachs can handle the fastball. This is a fastball that's up a little bit. And he's still able to hit a line drive in the right center field.
Well, Roger Clemens has pitched to 1 batter and given up 1 hit. He is leading 2-0, though. And here is Bernie Williams, the switch-hitting young center fielder, hitting only .220, but he does get his share of walks. Pretty good on-base average for a .220 average. He's young. They got a lot of young talent, but promising young talent in this ball club. And it is strike 1, says Rick Reed. Now, Clemens giving up a hit already in this one. Keep in mind, in his most recent start last Tuesday against Detroit, he did not give up a hit until the 7th inning. And back is Sachs.
Well, you expect that he will always pitch well against the Detroit team because they are free swingers and they will chase the high fastball. A power pitcher has more success against free swingers than he does a guy like Steve Sachs, who has a short swing and is a line drive hitter. Most of the players on the Detroit Tigers team are free swingers, and they're all home run hitters.
Here's Sachs, 28 steals. Jody Reed.
That's a big league play there. Tough play.
Sachs moves along.
There's a decision to be made as soon as the ball's hit. Either you back up and try to get the big hop, or you charge it and try to get the short hop. He tried to get the short hop, but he did not quite get there in time to make it an easy play. He got it in between, but he made a good play. Stayed down on it.
Now, if you're sitting home and saying, well, didn't he have time to get Sachs at second base? What would you say?
No, his momentum was carrying him towards the ball, and his main concern was to make sure he caught the ball first. You have to give Sachs second base. You want to make sure you record an out. You have a 2-0 lead.
Here is Mattingly. And that's a strike. The heater from Roger Clemens. Now, Mattingly, Friday night here, almost hit a homer to tie the ball game in the 9th inning. You see, he too has had his fair share of success against Clemens. But in right field, Brunansky, playing that night, jumped up and got his glove on the ball to keep it in the ballpark.
I would think that most of those hits came pre-back injury against Roger Clemens. That right there is what I'm talking about. With a good fastball like Clemens and not able to pivot, you're not going to stay on top of the ball. And with Clemens' high fastball, you have to stay on top of it.
Steve Lyons grabbing that one in shallow center.
The defense for Boston, Mo Vaughn, the young player up in the minor leagues, is at first. Jody Reed. Luis Rivera is at shortstop, and Wade Boggs is over at third. The other young player, Phil Plantier, is in right. Steve Lyons subs for Ellis Burks in center tonight, and Mike Greenwell is in left.
Here is Mel Hall. Now keep in mind he has a bad back. He hurt it while doing some stretching exercises before a ball game last weekend. And it's ball one. And then he re-injured himself. Even though he was hurting, he told Stump Merrill that he had one at bat in him that day and was put in the game in the 9th inning, and he struck out, and he just really hurt himself. Yeah, that set him back. Sachs at second, 2 down. We're in the first. Boston ahead 2-0. That's out of play. Now, Don Mattingly, of course, who's had a lot of back problems, he said to Mel Hall, he said, hey, don't fool around with this back injury. I mean, you've had a good year, and we can't win it. Shut it down. Just get over this back injury. Come back strong next year. And that's when Mel Hall came out and just said, hey, I would shut it down, but we got those 4 with the Red Sox, and I hate them.
Well, that's good. Players need some inspiration sometimes, and the Red Sox obviously give him inspiration. Remember on July 4th, he hit the game-winning home. When was that? Memorial Day. He hit the home run off of Reardon in the bottom of the 9th to win the ball game.
Real exciting finish to that one. Back to the screen on an off-speed delivery. 1-2 the count. Mel Hall hitting .299. He's got 18 homers. And you see, he has done some damage against the Red Sox over the years. This year, he's also been doing damage against left-handed pitching. Right. And as he says himself, he says, hey, how would they know I couldn't hit left-handers in the past when they never let me even attempt it? Well, it was just assumed.
That's a good point.
He's hit well against the lefties this year. .320. Ooh. What was that, a split-finger pitch? Looked pretty tough. One hit for the Yanks at the end of one. 2-0 Boston.
Hello, welcome to Memories. Step back into the past at Memories Restaurant and Lounge in Fort Lee. Filled with photos and memorabilia from Fort Lee's historic past, including the famous Palisade Amusement Park room. And don't forget the marvelous food that keeps bringing them back. Veal chop Valdostano, salmon Wellington, beautiful fresh fish, and lobsters to 10 pounds. Don't miss our lavish Sunday brunch buffet, which can't be beat. We also have a brand new party room for all your private party needs, so come on over.
He's the world's greatest golfer, or so he says. He chooses his equipment with great care, inspecting every detail. He's Lucky Jim, professional amateur. And there's only one golf store where you can find Jim. That's New York Golf Center, a store that has everything for today's golfer. Why, there's even an indoor driving range and a repair shop. Go on, Jim, make that putt. It was just luck. New York Golf Center, professional equipment at warehouse prices.
Stick with Sports Channel in September for sizzling sports excitement. Metro College football kicks off with coverage of local favorites Hofstra, Fordham, and St. John's. Plus, catch Sunday replays of Notre Dame and Syracuse. The Mets start their September pennant drive when they clash with NLE's foes in 11 crucial games. Check out the world's elite skaters in an explosive international tournament, Canada Cup 91. And coming in October, baseball's greatest games. Sports Channel this fall. A lot to get excited about.
Is very cautious as far as his associations, very cautious who he picks as friends, very cautious who he trusts.
Atlanta's strong-arm Tom Glavine powers the Braves' drive for the National League West title. San Diego's Tony Gwynn gearing up for another National League batting crown at the special time of 9 Eastern on ESPN, Wednesday Night Baseball.
John Miller and Joe Morgan with Sunday Night Baseball from Yankee Stadium, and I think Roger Clemens throws hard. How about this pitch?
Well, this is a new pitch. It's not really a changeup because he doesn't have it back in his hand, but the ball moves away from the left-handed hitter. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the pitch Mike Boddicker used to throw, the Fosh ball.
Pretty tough pitch. Boddicker's Fosh was sort of a combination changeup, forkball, and screwball all in one.
And Mel Hall would probably say to you, that's what that was.
Not fair that Clemens, with all the other stuff he has in his arsenal, throws a pitch like that. Steve Lyons in there in place of Ellis Burks, who is hurting. He's not had a very good year anyway, and now he's hurting. Plunk with a breaking ball misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Burks has had lower back pain, and then yesterday he started experiencing a tingling sensation in his left leg. He'll be examined when the Sox return to Boston tomorrow. The Yankee physician, Dr. Stuart Hershon, said that he might have a pinched nerve.
You mentioned he has not had a good year overall, but when you're the Red Sox and you're chasing Toronto, you want Ellis Burks in there because you know that if he gets hot, he can carry the team for stretches at a time, and that's what you need now when you're chasing a team. A lot of players who can carry you a game or two at a time.
Lyons into left center. This is Roberto Kelly. And that is 1 away. The famous Yankee Stadium facade, which used to hang from the roof of the upper deck in the old Yankee Stadium. Now they have it ringing the outfield. And that's a look from the facade back into the big ballpark. Kind of an addition to the new ballpark in deference to the Yankee Stadium tradition.
Good. They're going to do that in Baltimore. Keep something of the old ballpark, I'm sure.
Here's Tony Pena, and he fouls one back and out of play. 0-1. I believe in Baltimore we're going to move one of the foul poles from the old ballpark into the new one. The new ballpark will have just the feel of a lot of the old ballparks.
You mean they haven't worn that foul pole out yet?
1 strike to count to Pena. Nice play by Espinosa. Wow. I can't believe he got the ball over there like that. Pena's safe, but it was a near miracle play by Espinosa.
Well, it's a fantastic play. I saw Bordick of the A's make a diving stop the other day and throw it all the way in the air from his knees. Watch this. I mean, that's a great stop just to make the catch. He knows he doesn't have time to get to his feet, so he tries to throw it from a kneeling position. Can't get enough on the throw. Tony Pena runs pretty well, and he's hustling all the way. He needed this base hit. There you see he's also diving away from the play. In Bordick's play the other day, he was kind of diving towards third, so he wasn't going toward the outfield.
Now here is Luis Rivera. Ball 1 from Plunk. 2-0. Boston ahead. We're in the top of the second. Whatever happened to the old days when you had catchers like Ernie Lombardi and Smokey Burgess? Lombardi who won some batting titles and is in the Hall of Fame, was so slow. A couple times he even got thrown out when he hit base hits to the outfield, or what seemed to be base hits. Pena back. 7 stolen bases for Tony Pena this year. And on this ball club, that is good for second place.
Which is one of the reasons that they will struggle throughout every season that they play. There will be times when the team hitters go into slumps, and you can't manufacture any runs without any speed.
2-0.
I don't think there's ever been a Boston team since I started watching them that has just gone from start to finish and had a real good season. Your hitters will go into slumps, and you have to make up for it by stealing a run here and there, hitting and running, doing a few things. And with the Boston Red Sox, they've never had speed, so they've never learned to do that.
2-0 to Rivera. 2-1. Eric Plunk. He's a fellow with a great arm and no role. At one time, when he was with Oakland, they looked at him as a starting pitcher. He did not have success. Then they thought he might make a good closer, but he seemed ill-suited for that as well. Pena running. Noakes. Got it. Espinosa with the tag.
Plunk has a slow delivery to the plate, but Pena does not get a real good jump. Well, see how slow his delivery is, but Pena does not take off until he's almost at the peak of his leg lift. Noakes comes up, he throws the ball high to second base. Pena had a chance of getting under the tag, but it was there in time enough to get him.
Now 2 down, and the curveball for the 3rd out. Second strikeout for Plunk. Yankees will have Roberto Kelly, Matt Noakes, and Kevin Moss. The Red Sox have the lead back of Clemens 2-0 after 1.5.
There aren't any fax machines or PCs to help you at this job. And your career path is largely determined by the mood of your horse. So why would anyone choose to work up here in the mountains? Maybe it's the fringe benefits.
Coming to you hot and fresh from Domino's Pizza, Domino's Pepperoni Pizza Feast with extra pepperoni and cheese. Now in mediums just $8.99 or 2 for $12.99.
Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pizza at home.
It's more than 30 years old, but to you it's better than anything they're turning out today. Son of a Gun Protectant from STP is one of the good things you do for it. Son of a Gun not only brings out luster and shine and rubber, vinyl, and plastic, it cleans and protects. We know how you feel about your car, and we want you to go on feeling that way. Son of a Gun Protectant, one of the good things you do for your car.
It's a car born of intelligent engineering. It's 100,000 ideas fused into one. It's responsive, innovative, refined. It's a driver's side airbag and anti-lock brakes. Introducing the all-new 88 Royale LS. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
I'm Jim Bergamo. Of course, the Red Sox chasing the Blue Jays, and right now Budweiser takes us to Toronto, where in the top of the 9th, bases loaded, Jose Canseco already with home run number 40 on the season. You're looking at number 41, the grand slam home run off Jim Acker. The A's go on to win 10-5. Boston can close to within 3.5. Now back to John and Joe in New York.
All right, and by virtue of that, the Red Sox with a chance to gain ground on the Blue Jays. Speaking of the Blue Jays in Oakland, that's where we will be next Sunday night in Oakland as the Blue Jays and Athletics go at it again, as the Athletics in a very rare role of being the spoiler. They helped the Red Sox out today. Imagine that. It's next Sunday night as Joe Carter having maybe his best year, and Canseco, and he's just having a sensational year for the Athletics without the help that he used to get, and without being in a pennant race.
Well, he's had a fantastic year, especially when you remember that last year his back was bothering him so much they didn't know how much they were going to get from Canseco this year.
Here is Roberto Kelly. Ball one from Clemens. 2-0, Boston ahead. Last of the second. Canseco and Cecil Fielder still battling it out for the home run championship. Fielder hit number 42 today. That's foul off to the right. 1 ball, 1 strike. Canseco now with 41 home runs. And he has just had, as we said, an outstanding year.
It's amazing. Last year, you know, there was talk of him being the most valuable player in the league. And, you know, they said he was nosed out because his team wasn't in a pennant race. Well, this year they've been in a pennant race. He's having a similar type year, and you don't hear a lot about him. I mean, it's amazing. We take him for granted now. The guy hits 52 and drives in 125 or so, and we take him for granted.
Well, Canseco had at least 6 RBIs today.
What?
Gives him 111 for the year. 2 homers, including a grand slam today. This is caught by Lyons, and that is 1 away. Canseco hit number 40, a 2-run shot in the first inning to give Oakland a lead today. And then in the 9th, with Toronto catching up 6-4, he had a grand slammer. So at least 6 RBIs for Canseco today.
Well,
here is Matt Noakes, 23 home runs. Joe mentioned earlier, 5 times since early July he's had 2 homers in a game. Chase that high fastball from Clemens. Noakes is hitting .283, 23 homers, 70 RBIs. He had had only 5 2-home-run games in his whole career before this year.
Well, 2 home-run games are not commonplace.
Unless, boom, look out. That'll put the fear of the Lord into you.
Actually, he did not avoid that. It just missed him because he was late. He was late moving out of the way. Watch this fastball. See, that just misses him. He's still there.
Hard but foul. Diving for the ball anyway, Mo Vaughn. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, yesterday, the Red Sox had one of the worst and yet most humorous plays of the year here. A wild pickoff throw at first. Mullins the runner. Vaughn chased the ball, threw to second to try and get Mullins, but threw it into left field, trying to avoid hitting Mullins. Mullins went to third, and Greenwell ran in from left field, and the ball bounced off his glove and rolled away, and Mullins came all the way around to score on the play. 3 errors on the same play. Two and you look how Pena sets that low target.
Yes, that's why I say he works the pitcher as well as you possibly can work a pitcher. He stays down, he moves the strike zone around, in and out, and he catches the ball well so the umpire can see it.
Now he missed that pitch. Pena's going to have to throw him out, and he does. Second strikeout for Clemens. 2 down in the second. The batter will be Kevin Moss. 2-0. Boston ahead, last of the second.
Well, it's a breaking ball that doesn't ever start in the strike zone. And you can see that's one of those 60-foot curve balls that bounces out in front of the plate. Pena does a good job of blocking it and keeping it in front of him. And he has plenty of time to pick it up and throw out Matt Noakes.
Kevin Moss, only a .212 batting average. A strike.
A lot of people are deceived by Moss's stance. When you stand like that, you think he wants the ball inside because he's so close to the plate. That's not true. He really wants the ball out over the plate, and they've been able to keep the ball right there in tight on him as these first 2 pitches have been, and that's why he has struggled. That's why he is a 200. You know, he's hitting 212. He has a much better swing than that, but because he sets up that way at the plate, he gives them a good target. He gives them a place to go if they have good enough control to get in there. But if you miss 6 inches out over the plate, he makes you pay for it.
2 strikes.
Right back in there again.
Strike 3. 3 strikeouts for Clemens through 2. Boston 2, the Yankees nothing. Top of the order coming up.
Today, a woman needs a life insurance plan of her own.
State Farm sells life insurance from an agent who's there for you today and there tomorrow, too. You see, we start you out right with a plan specifically designed for a woman's needs. One that protects the people who count on you for so very much. And the State Farm agent will be there tomorrow, too, as your life changes, to keep that plan working for the people you love.
State Farm sells life insurance.
Come to the Isuzu Invitational, and you might discover that you're a stylish person. The Isuzu Stylus XS. It matches sleek sportiness with the safety of a standard driver's side airbag. Best of all, it's now up to $1,700 less. Get great savings on a sporty Isuzu Impulse, too. Only during the Isuzu Invitational, the perfect time to compare and save. Or really just save, because with Isuzu, there's no comparison. Save on a Stylus now at your local Isuzu dealer.
Down on the corner, there's a place I know. We're friends together and the beers are cold. The music's hard and the times are good. Nothing beats a bud in my neighborhood, yeah. Nothing beats all this, Budweiser. Nothing beats a bud. And you find us here with the king of beers. Nothing beats a bud.
Hey, way to go, kids.
I said, let's go. Hey, what you doing anyway?
Just thinking what it takes to make it to the majors.
Yeah, I already know.
What?
Hard work, luck, and these tickets to get in. Let's go.
Yes.
A message from Major League Baseball and its players.
Here come the Red Sox into the third, leading 2-0. There's some Sox fans risking their lives here at Yankee Stadium amidst this large group of Yankee fans. Wade Boggs takes ball 1. He walked his first time and started a 2-run rally that has the Yankees leading 2-0. Boggs started the game hitting .335. The league leader at the start of the day was the Texas Rangers' Julio Franco at .341. Boggs second place, and then Molitor of Milwaukee third place at .330. Boggs has never been retired by Plunk. He's only faced him 6 times, but has had 3 hits against him and 3 walks.
And I would understand that because Boggs will not swing at a pitch that's out of the strike zone. So what Plunk eventually does when he gets behind is he has to take a little off to throw a strike, and Boggs feasts on those mediocre fastballs.
And that is a 4-pitch walk. Well, watch this pitch Roger Clemens threw to strike out Moss looking in the last inning.
We've been trying to figure out what this pitch is. Watch, it starts inside. It's way inside. Now it moves back over the plate. That's the same pitch that he used to strike out Mel Hall. It went down and away. Now watch the grip. Watch the inside finger here, right there, the one that's below the ball. He pulls right through there and pushes more, puts more pressure on that finger, and it actually makes the ball move away from the left-handed hitter. It's a new pitch.
Here is Reed, who hit a 2-run homer his first time right down the left field line.
But it's definitely working, the new pitch.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, the result of it is almost like the combination of a fork ball and a screwball.
Yeah, but it's also thrown very hard. I think that's the key. He does everything hard, as you know, we visit to the mound. But if you put pressure on one point, one finger, more pressure on one finger than the other, that's the way the ball will rotate, and that's what he's doing there. Nolan Ryan started throwing a pitch that moved away similarly a couple of years ago, but his was a little slower. His was more of a changeup.
1 ball and no strikes to Jody Reed, hitting .274 now. 2-0 Red Sox ahead, third inning. And ball 2. On deck is Phil Plantier. Well, I know there was a game this spring down in Winter Haven, exhibition game between the Red Sox and the Twins, and Clemens, with 2 strikes, threw a pitch to Kirby Puckett that they said was a a split-fingered fastball, and it was registered on the gun at around 87 miles an hour. It broke Kirby's bat, and Kirby stood at the plate and said, "That's not legal." There's another high fly ball, but he didn't pull this one enough. Still rather spacious in that section of Yankee Stadium. Caught by Kelly. One away.
That's what happens sometimes when little guys hit a home run. Next time up, they automatically hit the ball in the air.
Well, it's true. I mean, there are some guys who are not home run hitters, and their managers hate to see them hit one.
Right.
Puts them in a slump.
And that happens quite often. Those of you who saw Plantier when he first came up with the Red Sox will notice that he is not nearly in his lower crouch as he was when he originally started. His back was almost straight before. And now he's bent over a little more to the plate and not quite as low.
Plantier was certainly getting noticed in the minor league level, and not just this year, but last year as well. He hit 33 homers at Pawtucket last year. It's foul, straight back. Just got a brief look-see at the end of last year and did not really make much of an impression. Had only 2 hits in 15 at-bats. Phil Plantier, the Red Sox, maybe more than any other team, they continue to produce excellent hitters.
But they are hitters, John, and not to belabor the point, but you need some speed mixed in with your hitters.
That is foul and out of play off to the left. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Look at this ball club today. Guys who came up with the Sox: Boggs, Reed, Plantier, Greenwell, Vaughn. All hitters who came up with the ball club.
But all similar kind of hitters in that they are hitters first and ball players kind of second.
Base hit. Plantier is 2 for 2. Stopping at second is Boggs. Well, all the more reason for them to miss Ellis Burks, because he's one of the few guys with some speed.
Well, Plantier, is no doubt in my mind that he is going to hit. He has a pretty solid swing. It looks like a big swing in that he swings hard, but it's really a control swing. See, he's under control right there. He wraps the bat around his back, but he's under real good control. Not much head movement, as you can see. Just a real fine hitter. I think he's going to do a good job in the next few years.
So here is Jack Clark, who struck out his first time on 3 pitches. 2-0 Boston. The Red Sox are threatening to get more here in the third. 2 men on, 1 man out. Plunk got knocked out early in his last start. Strike at the outside. Last Tuesday in Baltimore, he went only 3 into 3rd innings and gave up 5 runs and 6 hits. Mike Devereaux and Cal Ripken hit back-to-back home runs against him. Here are his numbers from last Tuesday. Boggs at second, Plantier at first. Curve is too low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Jack Clark, we kept talking about it on earlier games this year where we saw the Red Sox on Sunday Night Baseball. And he was having a miserable time and had not yet had one of those big weeks where he carried the ball club. Well, eventually he did.
Right.
I mean, he had some huge weeks.
And if he would not have been injured, you know, he was swinging the bat very well at that time, and that throws you off. You can, when you're injured in the middle of the season, everyone else is continuing to reach their peak, and all of a sudden you have to sit out for 9 or 10 days. It's very tough to regain that swing that you had at that particular time.
I'll tell you what, it seemed like one Tuesday, checking the USA Today American League stats, he had about 12 homers, and and the next time you checked, he had 20.
Right, and he's got 22. He needs 3 more to become only the 2nd player in the history of the game to hit 25 home runs or more for 5 different teams. Bobby Bonds is the only other player to do that. Well, first of all, you have to get traded a lot. You have to play for 5 different teams, but you also have to be successful with each one of those teams. You see the graphic?
There's Boggs at second and Plantier at first with 1 out. I guess the reason it hasn't happened much is that guys who are that productive don't go from team to team.
Usually stay around one team for a while.
Tough curveball, and Clark did well to lay off.
Those are the pitches that he was swinging and missing. Remember earlier in the season. Plunk has thrown him 2 excellent breaking balls here. You know, the purpose of a breaking ball is to start it in the strike zone and have it break out, and obviously the hitter chase it. And he has thrown 2 breaking balls that started in the strike zone and just barely broke out, and Clark has been able to hold up. But early in the season, he would have swung at both of those pitches. He was not seeing the ball as well.
Jack Clark, he gets kind of coiled in that stance. Well, he chased it that time. Strike 3.
Another good one. It's obvious that Plunk has confidence against right-handed hitters, but the Red Sox are sending a lot of left-handers after him. See, this is, again, another perfect pitch. It starts as a strike over the outside corner, and then it breaks down and away. Now, watch it starts. Now it's a strike. It's a strike. It's a strike. Now it's not a strike anymore. So you have to have the discipline to lay off of that pitch. But it's hard to do 2 or 3 pitches in a row.
Clark sitting next to the longtime Red Sox trainer Charlie Moss in the dugout there. Here is Greenwell now to try and get the Sox a run. 2 on, 2 out. Tried to backdoor him with a breaking ball. Missed. 1 ball, no strikes. Greenwell with only 9 home runs, which is odd. And yet he has 82 runs batted in.
Well, it's odd for a guy that makes as good a contact, you know, day in and day out as Greenwell does. You'd think he'd hit more home runs just by accident.
And that's a ball. 2-0. Well, I know that he does not take advantage of the wall in Fenway Park. There was a ball game there late last August where he hit the left field wall only because the left fielder blew the play, and they announced that was the first time he had even hit the wall, much less gone over it the whole year. He's mostly a pull hitter, but a line drive hitter.
Well, 2-1. He was trying to impress us right there. This is not your typical line drive swing that he takes on this pitch. This is, see if I can hit the right field porch here. A little late on it, actually. Plunk threw that one by him.
2-1 to Greenwell. Boggs and Plantier ready to go in anything. That's foul. A little late again. 2-2 the count. Greenwell has hit as many as 22 home runs in a season, and then he had the ankle problems the first half of last year and the second half of the year before that kept him really from displaying much power.
John, you bring up a very good point there. Once you have an injury to your hands or your legs, you develop bad habits, and it's very tough to get back to where you were before because your swing changes, and it's very tough to adjust that swing, you know, year in and year out, and especially when you develop something over a year where you're just slapping at the ball and not driving with your legs. It's very tough to all of a sudden start driving with your legs the next year.
2-2 the count. Popped him up. Third baseman Velarde, the shortstop Espinosa. Velarde. And that ends the inning. So it's pretty good pitching there by Plunk to get out of trouble. Yankees have Espinosa, Velarde, and Sachs when we return.
It's the same thing every Saturday. He puts on those old blue jeans and goes out with that old dog, and he's gone all day. He says he's going to bring back dinner, but all he ever brings back is that old dog.
Here's to old dogs, Saturday mornings, and comfortable blue jeans. Wrangler.
What does it take to be a mountain man? Let's see. A mountain man must be fearless, sure-footed, willing to answer the call of the wild. But most of all, a mountain man should be thirsty for a smooth bush beer or an easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and see if you have what it takes to be a real mountain man.
Domino knows just what you're into. Domino knows just where you're at. Nobody knows like Domino.
Domino's Domino's Pizza doesn't make your pizza until you make your call and delivers in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed.
Nobody knows like Domino's.
Domino's Pepperoni Pizza Feast with extra pepperoni and cheese. Now a medium's just $8.99 or 2 for $12.99.
Nobody knows like Domino's. How you like pizza at home.
You never know when you'll need to investigate rental car rates. When relatives come to town for weekend getaways. Or when your car's in the shop and you don't want to get taken to the cleaners.
Let's say you're looking for a midsize.
All right, you're looking for a midsize. May I see something in a compact?
Or you can really stretch out in this roomy Dodge Caravan. Its great low rate even includes unlimited mileage. For reservations, call 1-800-800-4000.
The pennant race comes to ESPN big time this week. It's Braves week on Major League Baseball coverage. Tuesday night from Candlestick Park, Dave Justice and the Braves take on Will Clark and the Pacific Stock Exchange. The Giants try and play spoiler. Wednesday, Tom Glavine goes for number 19 as the Braves move down the coast to San Diego. And then Friday, it's the Braves and Dodgers, another big showdown. Justice and Strawberry, Murray and Gant, and that should be a lot of fun. We will keep you tuned into the Braves all week long. Here is Espinosa, base hit to center field. That is the first time in Espinosa's career that he has ever had a base hit against Roger Clemens. He was 0 for 17. Somebody get him that baseball.
As the old saying goes, if you swing at it enough, you'll hit a line drive. So shows that he's never been actually defeated mentally by Clemens. Line drive right back through the middle. Clemens got the ball in the middle of the plate, and he just lined it straight back through the middle.
Now Randy Velarde, the hitter. Third base has been a problem spot for the Yankees this year. Velarde hitting .261, but they have not gotten much production from the long list of third basemen they have tried over there. 2-0 Red Sox, last of the third.
It's interesting, last week Pat Kelly played second base and Steve Sax was the DH. We wonder what's going to happen next with the Yankee infield.
Kelly hurt his back, and they had x-rays, and they proved negative.
He hurt his back throwing the guy out. Boggs
said he suffered a strained lumbar area, but he made 3 errors all on throws last Monday in Baltimore and admitted afterward. Reed gets the lead runner, Espinosa, who then came in hard on Rivera.
And look at Rivera, how he's looking at him. And I don't blame him. There was obviously not going to be a double play attempt on that ball. So there's really no reason for him to go after Rivera. At least that's what Rivera is thinking. And you see Jody Reed looking at it the same way. And make no mistake about it, infielders never forget. See, he's out plenty of time. Look how far he goes out of his way to get Rivera.
That's good hard baseball, Joe.
No, that's not good hard baseball. Good hard baseball is breaking up a double play.
All right. It's because the Red Sox and Yankees.
Oh, dislike each other.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll accept that. Because there was definitely not a double play attempt there.
Espinosa went in and said to Rivera, that's because you're a Red Sox. Here's Steve Sax. 1 for 1. And it's a ball outside. Sax singled his first time. He's hitting .304 now. 2-0 Red Sox ahead, last of the third. Roger Clemens with 3 strikeouts in the first 2 innings. He's given up 2 hits, both singles. 1 out, Velarde at first in the third. And the breaking ball, a strike on the outside. Joe, we're talking about Pascual Perez between innings, the Yankee right-hander. There's Pascual. And with this new ruling about actually defining what is a no-hitter, he lost one. He'd had a rain-shortened no-hitter a few years back.
Well, John, the baseball statistical accuracy committee decided that there were a lot of no-hitters that would no longer be considered no-hitters, and Pascual Perez's was one of those. But his comment was, now it's too late to take it away from me. He said, I have the tape and I have the ball. I'll keep my no-hitter in my heart. So the statistical committee took it away in the record books, but he said you can't take it away from him in his heart. But I'm a little bit surprised at some of the decisions they arrived at. First of all, you know, Harvey Haddix now does not have a no-hitter, and he pitched 12 perfect innings of no-hit baseball, and it is not considered to be a no-hitter. I mean, I don't know what else you can do.
Inside, and it is 2-1 now to Sachs. Bernie Williams on deck. Well, personally, now I agree with that. I mean, you can pitch 12 shutout innings, and if you give up a run in the 13th, you don't get credit for a shutout. You can pitch, as Warren Spahn did, 15 shutout innings and give up a home run to Willie Mays in the 16th, and you don't get a shutout. I think it's consistent. The thing I disagree with is Andy Hawkins pitching a complete game no-hitter in Chicago last year, losing 4-0, and they have taken his no-hitter away. Now, to me, that was a complete 9-inning game.
Well, it was a complete game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that game went 9 innings.
Yeah.
And there was no rain. We're not talking extra innings where he gave up a hit later. He pitched in a complete 9-inning game, and he had a complete game, therefore no hitter. I think they erred on that ruling.
I really find myself wondering why all this had to become about anyway.
Well, you know, there were some questions because it had actually never been defined. I mean, the record books have always listed both.
But there are probably other things that haven't been defined either. You know, as easily to understand as that. So I guess what I'm saying, if it's not broken, why are we trying to fix it?
Well, it's also my understanding, though, that the record books will continue to list, for instance, the rain-shortened no-hitter by Pascual Perez, not as a no-hitter, but as a notable achievement.
Well, I guess the other part of it was they removed the asterisk from Roger Maris's name, which was never there anyway, but I guess they removed it, you know, and I don't understand that either. Actually, in my opinion, there should have never been an asterisk there.
Oh, great breaking ball from Clemens to strike out Sachs. That was a monster.
Well, Sachs hit a fastball back through the middle the first time up, and we talked about him being a good fastball hitter. Well, Roger Clemens has the answer for that. He throws a good breaking ball, good curve ball away, and again, it starts in the strike zone, and it breaks out of the strike zone.
Now that is a pitch that has some bite to it. 2 down. Here is Bernie Williams. He grounded a second his first time. 2-0. Boston ahead last of the third, and that is ball 1. Well, what had been in the record book about Maris and Ruth was that Maris owned the record for most home runs in a season in a 162-game schedule, and Ruth had it in the 154-game schedule, and now apparently it's just a matter of Maris is the all-time record holder, which, and I agree with you, hey, who has hit more homers in one season than any other player? And it's Roger Maris.
I mean, first of all, there, as we see the retired uniform of Roger Maris,
a strike.
You have to be consistent if you're going to put an asterisk by his number of home runs. You have to say that, well, Pete Rose had more at-bats than Ty Cobb, and Hank Aaron had more at-bats than Babe Ruth. You know, I mean, a career is a career. You know, a season is a season.
I mean, the record for a season speaks for itself, and Maris has the record for a single season. Ball is fouled away.
And a career is a career. Most home runs in a career, you know.
But Maris, in some ways, I mean, 61 home runs in a single season, in some ways, is even more astonishing because he had the time period.
Right.
Right? I mean, Pete Rose was astonishing as well, but it was also a tribute to his longevity. Down the left field line, this could be trouble. It's in there, base hit. It will roll to the wall. Here comes Velarde around third. Greenwell with a relay. Here comes Rivera's throw. Safe! Backed up by Clemens. Stopping at second is Williams. 2-1 Boston. Mattingly coming up.
Well, Bernie Williams takes it and hits a line drive down the left field line. And because the alleys are so big here, you do not guard the line. So the outfielders are farther away. They're over in right center and left center. By the time Greenwell picks the ball up out of the corner, Velarde is about to slide across the plate. And Clemens backing up the play keeps Bernie Williams from advancing to third base.
Bernie Williams with his 16th double of the year. Pretty good piece of hitting there by Bernie.
Very good piece of hitting. I mean, anytime you get a base hit off Roger Clemens, it's good hitting.
By definition.
Yeah, the definition of good hitting.
Well, now here is Mattingly with a chance to tie this game. Mattingly flying to shallow center and really just a pop-up his first time. One appealing for a swing is Tony Pena, and Gary Cedarstrom, the third base umpire, says, hey, don't even ask me on that.
Roger Clemens is 7-1 here in Yankee Stadium, and you can see why. Most pitchers come in here and they fear the left-handed hitters hitting the ball on the porch in right field, so they try to stay away. Roger Clemens, being as good a power pitcher as he is, he comes right inside on their fist and keeps them from pulling the ball. See, he has pitched all the left-handers that we have seen inside. He struck out Noakes inside. He even pitched Mel Hall inside before striking him out away. He struck out Moss with 3 pitches inside. And the first 2 pitches here again to Mattingly have been inside. And there you see 7-1 here because he can go right after him. He doesn't have to change his style to pitch in Yankee Stadium.
2-0 to Mattingly. Mel Hall is on deck. Base hit could tie the game. Williams at second. He's a very fast runner. High, lazy fly to right. Lantier in for it. And Mattingly is unable to get him home. The Yanks get a run, though. It'll be Vaughn, Lyons, and Pena when we return. 2-1 Boston.
Because of the way our power tape fits your hand, you could do this all day long. The Series 2000 from Lufkin.
What you eating, Dad?
Kellogg's 19. A breakfast of 19 vitamins, minerals, and other essential nutrients. You want some?
No.
With its thick, toasted multigrain flakes, hearty Kellogg's 19 has a surprisingly good taste. And the best part is...
Kellogg's 19? Ew.
No one knows it. Kellogg's 19. Really great taste in disguise.
Hi, I'm Tim Allen, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about my new series coming this fall.
No running in the house.
First, I've got to make some adjustments on that TV.
No, leave it alone.
Just take me a minute.
Don't touch the television.
Just about got it. There. Oh, no.
I'll call the repairman.
The premiere of Home Improvement this week on ABC TV.
Tim, what did you do to the phone?
Huh?
If your sporty car doesn't feel so sporty anymore, you need a change. By the team, the BF Goodrich Tire Team. They'll put on BF Goodrich TA Performance tires. Tires designed just for your sporty car. It's a whole new level of performance. Feel the difference. See a BF Goodrich Tire Team if they don't see you first.
Some spaces are just too tight to fit 2 hands, which is where Crescent locking pliers come in real handy. The single-handed release from Crescent.
New York, New York. It's a wonderful town. The Bronx is up, the Battery's down. The people ride through a hole in the ground. New York, New York. It's a hell of a town. Here's Mo Vaughn, and he pops it up. Alvaro Espinosa goes out, but coming in and calling for it is Roberto Kelly. The wind was blowing that one around a little bit, and Vaughn is retired. Looked like it would have been an easier play for Espinosa.
Yeah, but the outfielder Kelly took charge. Remember, Kelly was a center fielder before. And he's not happy about playing left field either, we might add.
Well, he was a pretty good center fielder.
Yeah, and he's wondering why he's now in left. He said, if they proved to me I couldn't play center field, then I'd gladly move to left. He said, no one has proved that to me yet.
Well, apparently, they're not saying he can't do it. They just apparently like the way Williams plays center. Left field in Yankee Stadium is a little different, too. I mean, it's the biggest left field in baseball, and you need somebody with a center fielder's ability to play out there. That's foul. Ricky Henderson moved over there when he came to Yankee Stadium. Dave Winfield played there the first few years he was here. Joe, we're talking about the no-hitters again. And in Red Sox history, there was a rather fabled perfect game that is no longer. Look out. 1-1. Babe Ruth started the ball game.
Oh, yeah.
1917. He walked the first hitter, became incensed with the umpire, argued, and got thrown out. Ernie Shore came in and inherited the ball game. And the runner who was aboard when he came in got thrown out trying to steal, and then Shore retired everybody else for the rest of the day. And that's a ball outside. So he was given credit for a no-hitter and a perfect game because a reliever gets credit for facing a hitter and retiring him when the man gets caught stealing. So under the rules, he faced 27 hitters and retired all of them. Lyons hits it deep into right center. Way back. And this one is out of here. Steve Lyons with some surprising power. 3-1 Boston, his 4th home run of the year.
There's Stump Mitchell. He's not real Merrill, I'm sorry, is not too happy about it. What you'll see here is Lyons gets the barrel of the bat out in front. That gets more carry on the ball. If you hit the ball in front of the plate, watch, right out in front. See how he got good extension on it, and the barrel of the bat makes contact in front of the plate. That's how you get carry on the ball.
Here is Pena, who had an infield hit his first time. 1 ball to no strikes. So the Yankees scratch and claw for a run against Clemens, and then the Red Sox get it right back. All of the Red Sox runs as a result of home runs. Reed, a 2-run first inning shot. And the man that they used to call Psycho, Steve Lyons, a colorful character. He goes deep. Started his career in Boston. Did Lyons, then as a curveball misses. 2-1. Went to the White Sox, and it was interesting. He was always kind of a role player, although in Chicago there was a time when he played almost on a regular basis at second base. And with the Red Sox, he was always used more as an outfielder, and he is again.
I don't know if we can give him the credit for a big fly, though. It didn't get into the seats where the people sit.
Well, and
it was over the inner fence.
Wouldn't have been a home run in the old days.
Right, that's what I mean. So we can't give him a big fly. We'll give him a home run.
And he's got 4 homers this year, Joe. That's a mighty swing, 3-2. 2 of them in about a week's time were fly balls that went to the wall, and the outfielder, I know Robin Yount was one of them, reached up and caught it and dropped it over the wall. Twice it happened. Talk about miraculous.
Yeah. Well, to happen to one guy. Kevin Bass did that the other day with Harold Morris. Hit a fly ball, jumped up, caught it, and flipped it over the fence when he was coming down.
3-2 to Pena. 3-1. Boston ahead in the 4th. Right to Sachs. We're looking at the Red Sox trying to catch the Toronto Blue Jays in the American League East. Here are the current standings after Oakland defeated Toronto today 10-5. Milwaukee defeated Detroit despite the Cecil Fielder home run. Tigers remain 5.5 out, and the time is running short for Detroit. But for Boston, only 3 back in the loss side, and with a win, that's where they'll stay tonight. And they are leading back of Clemens 3-1. And Joe, you mentioned as Rivera fouls one back, 0-1. You mentioned Clemens 7-1 in Yankee Stadium. 1987. There was a game here where he did not get the loss, but he was ahead 10-0 and did not get the win. And the Red Sox were unable to hold that lead. Eventually lost the game by some ridiculous score like 13-12 or something. Of course, the Yankees in '87, that was the team of Ricky Henderson, Willie Randolph, fully healthy Don Mattingly, Winfield. They had some sluggers. Pagliarulo was hitting home runs at that time. Popped up foul and out of play. 1-2 to Rivera. Plunk, 2 home runs allowed in this ball game. He's given up now 18 in 92 and 2/3 innings. Oh, there's a 55-foot curveball.
He got a piece of Noakes, too. Looked like it bounced up and hit him on the right side. Well, he got his right hand, maybe. Well, he got him on the right arm. Watch, it's a breaking ball, and he goes over to block it. Well, he sticks his arm down there, and it hits it on his arm, hits him on his arm. You know, most catchers will tell you if there's no one on base, I'm not going to block that pitch. You know, just try to knock it down or something. He got his whole body over in front of it, and he put his right arm between his legs, and that's exactly what he did. He blocked it with his right arm.
Three and two now. Wade Boggs would be next. We're in the 4th inning, 3-1. Red Sox ahead. Luis Rivera, he's been playing hurt. Going out asthmatically, but it drops in amongst the spectators. 3 and 2.
Take another look at Noakes blocking the pitch. Now watch his right hand, the one without the glove on it. Watch it. Look how he does with it. He puts it down between his legs, and it hits him right above, you know, the right forearm. That's painful. A 90+ mile-an-hour pitch bounces and hits you there. You know, a lot of people may not even think about this, but that's one of the reasons over the years that catchers have not been great hitters. They have so many aches and pains throughout the year that it takes away from their hitting.
Bernie Williams, that's the wrong place to hit it in this ballpark, even if you have power. That ends the inning. The Yankees will have Mel Hall, Roberto Kelly, and Matt Noakes trailing 3-1.
No place can match the excitement of the Superstar Theater at my beautiful new resort. And you won't find more for your money anywhere. My Beverly Hills buffet, amazing choices, all you can eat for $4.99.
It's nice to see you again. I hope you enjoy your stay.
Everybody loves our terrific room packages.
Special package includes free show tickets, complimentary buffet, health
Have you met my accountants?
Bet on Merv. You got to come to Resorts.
If you need glasses or an eye exam too, just pick up the phone and dial 31-I-DO. You've lost a contact lens and don't know what to do? Pick up the phone and dial 31-I-DO. Looking for frames and a fashion that's right for you? Call us now at 31-I-DO. We accept most insurance and Medicaid too. You know the number, it's 31-I-DO. Dr. Alan Ross, the frame and lens, that's who. You know how, it's 31-I-DO. Call today.
Now is the time to buy a pager from TCA Communications. We're now offering beepers for as low as $39, and we give you over 20 networks to choose from. TCA backs up every pager we sell with our expert service department. TCA carries a wide range of pagers, including alphanumeric pagers. So don't miss another message. Call the pager specialist now, TCA Communications.
Time. Heisman candidate Sean Jones guides untamed Georgia Tech as they try to wreck Virginia's Thursday night in the spotlight.
It's a jungle out there. It's
Live on ESPN.
Budweiser takes us to Atlanta, where Ramon Martinez, 7-1 lifetime against the Braves, but he'd been struggling as of late, and his struggles continue today. First inning, bases loaded, Sin Bream with the grand slam, second of his career. Martinez lasted only 2 innings. Braves lead the Dodgers by a game and a half. Back to John and Joe.
Pretty good weekend for the Atlanta Braves to take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers, and they'll be right back at it with the Dodgers next week. Pretty tough road trip. The Giants have been struggling, but they've got some great talent, and then they have to go to San Diego, and San Diego's put together a pretty good year. They throw some pretty tough pitching at you, as well as guys like Gwynn and McGriff and Fernandez and company, Darren Jackson. And then to Dodger Stadium. This could be the make-or-break week for the Atlanta Braves.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, John. This will be the make-or-break week for them. I mean, there are several ways they can come out of it. Obviously, they can add to their lead or just hold what they have, or they can be destroyed, you know, by having a poor road trip. So this is a very important week for them.
Mel Hall, the hitter, and Clemens throws him a strike, 0-1. 3-1. Boston leading, last of the 4th. Well, Remember when we saw the Dodgers and the Braves on Sunday Night Baseball, June the 30th? I mean, it had to be the Braves' worst game of the year. They made 6 errors, probably should have been charged with more. And the Dodgers just ran away with it. Smoltz lost it. He couldn't beat anybody. And the Dodgers, with that win, had taken 3 out of 4 from them. And it looked like the Braves were dead.
And the Dodgers were cruising at that time.
When the Dodgers won that ball game, June the 30th, they were 7.5 up on Atlanta. And then even further ahead of them by the All-Star break. At the break, the Dodgers were 9.5 ahead of the Braves. Now they trailed them by 1.5. That's an 11-game turnaround since the All-Star break.
Well, it was actually quicker than that because remember the Dodgers lost 9 in a row and Atlanta won like 7 in a row, so they closed the gap very quickly.
It almost caught them within 9 or 10 days of the break. 3-1 the count, and nobody knows that better than the Dodgers and Braves that can happen because when was it? 1983. The Dodgers were way ahead by about 11. And incredibly, like 12 days later, the Braves were ahead of them. Into left center field. And that one, I think, is going to be in there. And it is. Into Death Valley. Now Hall to second. Turns the corner, and he'll hold. He is not running well with that bad back.
I was watching Mel Hall, and that was a double from the time that he hit it. It was not going to be a triple. I mean, he knows that his back is bothering him and the pain will catch up to him before he could get to third base. So smart play by Mel Hall. He just takes his fastball from Clemens and runs away, and he goes to left center field with it. And Lyons in center and Greenwell in left. Neither one of them really closed the gap on that ball.
Now that area out there in left center, 399 feet. Of course, at one time it was 457 feet out there. Right up the middle, base hit into center field. Here comes Hall. Showalter waves him home. He'll score without a throw, and it's back to a 1-run game. 3-2 Boston.
Roger Clemens' fastball to me is more effective when it's up than when it's down. And you see the low target there, and the ball is down and it's grounded back through the middle. A power pitcher is usually more effective up and out of the strike zone, getting hitters to chase the high fastball, getting them to chase high pitches.
Now Roberto Kelly can come after you many ways. He hits for power. In the past he's hit for average, but not this year. He's had a wrist problem, but Kelly has stolen 24 bases this year.
Well, he and Steve Sachs are the speed on the Yankee ball club.
Fouled back by Noakes. Pretty good cut, though. He struck out his first time. The Sachs has 28 steals. Roberto Kelly 24. Even though Roberto missed about 7 weeks' time with that wrist injury. He's an enormous talent, Roberto Kelly. I mean, he runs well. He can hit with power. He can hit for average. Frank Howard, the hitting instructor, thinks that he's going to evolve into a 25 to 30 homer a year man.
Well, on top of that, he can play good defense in the outfield. John, it'd be interesting for me to see how Clemens goes after Noakes here. First time up, he went after him inside with fastballs. Now he doesn't want him to hit the hole over there, and he's thrown a pitch away.
There goes Kelly. He's in there easily. Number 25 for Roberto Kelly.
Well, it's a good pitch that he chooses to steal on. It's that turned over pitch. It goes down and away from the hitter, but it's all. Let's see how good a jump he gets. Not a great jump there. Clemens was already at the top of his motion before he took off, but because it was a low pitch, Pena could not come up firing as he would have liked.
Now just a base hit could tie the game. They're really loaded up on the right side, playing Noakes to pull. Ball 2. Kevin Moss is on deck. And Matt Noakes has that tailor-made swing for this ballpark and the place he used to play, Tiger Stadium.
But again, it's tough for some hitters to keep the inside pitch fair. They will pull it foul. And that's what Roger Clemens is banking on against these left-handers.
And he came inside with a breaking ball and indeed pulled foul by Matt Noakes.
Well, what happens is if the ball's inside, you have a tendency to turn and roll over with your top hand and pull it foul. If the ball's out over the plate, you extend to the ball and you can keep it fair. That's why most hitters like the ball out over the plate. They can extend their arms and move the ball around. You have to really pull hard with your bottom hand to keep the inside pitch fair. You have to like pull it through. You can't roll your top hand over.
Well, Roger Clemens looking vulnerable. Last 2 innings, he has allowed 4 hits and 2 runs. There's nobody out in this inning with a runner at second. 2-2 the count. Curveball, that is pulled foul.
But when he keeps, you know, the ball inside, it's going to be hard for Noakes to keep it fair because, first of all, you respect Roger Clemens' fastball in there, so you have to say, I have to be quick. I'm going to be quick on the pitch inside. And obviously, if you're quick on the pitch inside, you're going to pull it foul in most cases.
Three and 2.
It's interesting. Roger Clemens, you know, had not shown that pitch very often. The one that we're talking about goes down the way. He's thrown it early in the game and gotten a couple of strikeouts. Now the hitters have seen it, and we've seen Noakes lay off of it here with 2 strikes because they have seen that pitch now.
Full count to Noakes. Fourth ball driven into right center field, base hit. This will tie it up. Kelly will score easily. Plantier into second. 3-3.
Well, that was a good call, John. You called a fork ball, and that's what it was, but it was out over the plate. And he was able to extend and drive it into right center field. But again, we're talking about speed, what it does. Kelly stole that run. See where the pitch is? It's out away from about the middle of the plate. It's down, so it's a good pitch, except that Noakes is such a good low ball hitter that it is not a good pitch.
Well, that brings up the question. I mean, when you got Roger Clemens kind of stuff,
yeah,
it's almost like you're doing him a favor there, aren't you?
There was definitely a favor in Noakes' mind there because he's a low ball hitter. That's a situation where you probably go with the high fastball.
I mean, it's not only low, but it's a little bit slower.
Yeah.
Now here is Kevin Moss, and he knows to do with that low pitch too. Popped this one up. First ball swing, the ball was up,
and it was in.
And Rivera takes it, and that is the first out of the inning. 3-3, and in New England and all around the nation, Red Sox faithful a bit worried now. Clemens looking very vulnerable tonight.
He struck Moss out with 3 pitches inside the first time up. He comes right back inside. Moss is looking for the ball inside, but he cannot get to it.
Now Alvaro Espinosa. He got something started in the third when he singled to center. He did not score the run. He was forced out by Velarde, but Velarde scored the run. 3-3. Now there's a rule that could be changed by the rules committee. Maybe you and I can get on this committee. Why should the guy who hit into a force play get credit
for the run score?
Yeah. I mean, he made an out.
Yeah. And the other guy who got the base hit is erased, right?
Yeah. I mean, Velarde looks great, scored the run.
Yeah.
Well, Espinosa did all the work.
Huh?
Yeah.
So if we're going to set the record straight, you might as well set them all straight.
That's right. That's what you were talking about. There are other questions there.
Yeah, a lot of other questions. You know, the stolen base, for instance, when they call it fielder's indifference. How do they know when a guy doesn't throw what his thinking was? You know, maybe he just felt like he couldn't throw the runner out. Or the manager decided that he did not want to throw to second base for a certain reason in that situation.
There goes Noakes. Base hit. And the ball is cut off. Noakes safely to third. Espinosa, who had never had a hit against Clemens, is 2 for 2 against him tonight. 3-3 with 1 out.
Well, obviously Espinosa's gotten his confidence now because they put a hit and run on. Something that probably has not happened very often with him hitting against Clemens. It's a hit and run play. Pitches out away from him. You can see the concentration that he uses. It keeps his head still and just kind of slices the ball to the right side. Lyons comes up, and he actually had a shot at Noakes because he doesn't run that well, but his throw was offline and they had to cut it off.
Yeah, if Burks is out there, maybe they nail him.
Right, because if the throw was on line, they had a shot at Noakes.
Here is Velarde. Well, he hit into a fielder's choice, a bounding ball to second. If he could do the same thing here, it would put the Yankees ahead. Runners at first and third, a slider for a strike on the outside. 3-3 in the fourth, and the Boston bullpen is going to get busy. Clemens, as the left-hander Matt Young is getting up, along with the right-hander Dennis Lamp out there. And it's a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Clemens right now just looks very hittable, rather obviously. He had pitched 232 in the third innings before tonight and allowed only 183 hits. He's given up 7 hits tonight and 3 in the third innings.
Well, what I see missing is the dominance with the high fastball. If we think back, you have not seen anyone swing at a high fastball. He has not used that. And a power pitcher's best pitch is a fastball up and out of the strike zone. But we have not seen him do that. He is pitching down, and he has not been as successful as he has been his last 4 starts.
Base hit. And the Yankees have gone ahead. Rounding second, Espinosa. He'll go to third. 4-3 New York. Still only 1 out. 3 runs are in, and we're going to the top of the batting order.
Eric's, the pitching coach Fisher's going out to talk to Roger Clemens.
And Yankee Stadium is beside itself here.
Well, here's Clemens' pitch, and again, it's a pitch that's down. And it's hit on the ground. You know, they keep the ball in the ballpark this way by keeping the ball down, but if you're a power pitcher, they're going to hit a lot of ground balls and maybe a few soft liners that will go through, as we see here. And moving on around to third is Espinosa. And runners at first and third. They're actually just switching places here.
There's the Boston bullpen again. Lamp, the right-hander. Matt Young, the left-hander. Steve Sachs is coming up here. The Yanks have 3 home. They have 4 runs and 7 hits against Clemens in the last 1 1/3 innings. The last 11 hitters he's faced, he's allowed 7 hits. Now, in his last 4 starts, Joe, and you mentioned it earlier, he went 9 innings each time.
Right.
Little wear and tear in the arm this late in the season. He leads the major leagues in innings pitched.
Yes. Well, that was going to be my next point. Maybe he doesn't feel like he has as good a fastball as he's had the last 3 or 4 outings. Therefore, he wants to keep the ball down. If he felt he had a better fastball, maybe he would use the overpowering fastball up.
Back safely, Velarde. He was not fooled. 4-3, the Yankees ahead now. These have not been the best of times for the Yankees. They ended an 8-game losing streak just yesterday amidst rumors of the imminent firing of their manager, Stump Merrill. And the slider misses. 1 ball and no strikes as Espinosa leads from third and Velarde from first. Vaughn on the bag with him. Also, in the last 6 weeks or so, numerous anonymous digs at Stump Merrill's managing from different players. And the Yankees, who were so exciting there before the All-Star break, they did that a lot. As you see, Buck Showalter, who was often mentioned and has been often mentioned in the papers as being perhaps the successor to Stump Merrill. But the Yankees getting it done tonight. And that one could be 2. It is. Nicely turned at second by Jody Reed to double up the speedy Sachs. 4-3, though. Top of the order for Boston.
Next time you need a hotel, think twice.
Embassy Suites.
2 big rooms, 1 big suite.
Embassy Suites.
A place to work, a place to play.
Embassy Suites.
Breakfast is free. Evening beverages too.
Embassy Suites.
Think twice. twice the hotel. Call 1-800-EMBASSY.
It takes a company with an enormous commitment to quality to change something that's already a proven success. Ford Motor Company has taken the best-selling vehicle in North America for over a decade and made it even better. We've redesigned it inside and out so that Ford toughness and versatility is now better looking than ever before. The 92 Ford F-Series pickups. See for yourself beginning September 26th at your Ford dealer. Amazing things happen when you make quality job one.
State Farm sells life insurance. In fact, we've been there protecting hopes and dreams for families for over 60 years. And we're there for your family today with the life insurance value you're looking for. You see, the cost of State Farm life insurance is among the lowest in the industry. So, you get an outstanding value from a company with a long history of financial stability. Isn't that what you're looking for in a life insurance plan for the people who are counting on you?
Love you. State Farm sells life insurance.
Wow! Upper Deck football cards!
Now find one of my 2,500 personally autographed cards, available only in Upper Deck football foil packs.
The Yanks have turned this one around against Roger Clemens. 4-3 Yankees. Could have been worse, though.
Well, John, as the test of a good shortstop is going in the hole and displaying his arm, the test of a good second baseman is turning the double play, a tough one, with a runner at third base and first base to end the inning. And Jody Reed comes through with flying colors there. He got rid of the ball very quickly from a low throw.
If he does not get the speedy sacks at first, Yanks have another run on the board. Here is Wade Boggs, top of the order for Boston. And Plunk throws him a strike. Now, here's Plunk, who's given up 3 runs in 5 innings in the first 3 runs and 5 hits in the first 4 innings. And he has a lead for the first time. Boggs has walked twice and scored a run. Sacks, easy play, 1 away.
So he finally retires Boggs anyway.
Finally threw him a strike.
Yeah. Well, he changed his pattern. Instead of throwing fastballs first pitch, he threw breaking balls, and he got them over.
Eric Plunk. By the way, Boggs now 0 for 1. Julio Franco, the American League's leading hitter at the start of the day, averaging .341 for Texas, did not play today against Minnesota. Boggs came into the day hitting .335 second. Molitor .330 in third. He went 0 for 4 against the Tigers. And Reed takes a strike. Rafael Palmeiro hitting .326 at the start of the day, went 1 for 4. Frank Thomas hitting .327, went 1 for 5. And Kirby Puckett hitting .326 did not play.
I saw a great story today about Rafael Palmeiro and his brother that is still in Cuba. Him and his 2 other younger brothers were brought out of Cuba when he was 6 years old. And his oldest brother had to stay because he was getting close to military age. And they did a great story on how he has followed his exploits, and his brother's kind of like the guy in that town. He teaches kids how to play baseball. And he was born without a left hand, similar to Jim Abbott. And he does the exact same things, you know, on the field that Jim Abbott does. You know, changes the ball and changes the glove and so forth. And it was a very heartwarming story. They showed, you know, Palmeiro had not seen him for 20 years. Never saw him, you know, in those 20 years, and they put him on videotape, and it was very, I thought it was great. And I said to myself, that may be enough inspiration for Palmeiro to go out and win the American League batting championship. His brother was very proud of him, and he told him it was a great story.
And 2 to Reed, and he's got a base hit. So Jody Reed is 2 for 3. Plantier is coming up. Well, they had both of them seeing the other by videotape.
You saw it, huh?
I did.
It's great.
I saw it on This Week in Baseball.
Oh, yeah, that's where I saw it. It was very great. It was great.
And Palmeiro, when he saw his brother, and he had not seen him since Rafael was 6 years old, and he saw his brother playing catch wearing a Texas Rangers cap, and he asked the television people, said, did you guys give him that hat? And they said, no, he already had it.
But he also had a Rafael Palmeiro t-shirt
That's
on.
right.
Yeah, and he doesn't know how he got it.
And Rafael was very touched by that.
Right.
They spoke to each other via videotape, and now they're hopeful that his brother will be able to get a visa to come to the United States and actually see his brother.
That was great.
Plantier 2 for 2 in the ball game. Takes ball 1. His batting average right now is .390. He's only had 82 at bats, but most of them in the pennant race, that's right when you'd like to see him hitting .390 if you're with the Red Sox. You know, Boggs did that 1982 when he finally got his break, and he was already 26. But Carney Lansford was the third baseman, and he did not play until Carney got hurt.
Right.
Carney injured his ankle and missed about a month. They stuck Boggs in there, and he hit over 400 for the month. I mean, sometimes guys say, well, they don't give me an opportunity, I don't play regularly. On the other side of that, there's when you get the opportunity, making the most of it, as is Plantier now, as Boggs did then.
Right.
Bullpen activity for the Yankees now. Ball and a strike. 1 out, 1 on. There's a high drive, but it appears playable for Hall, and it is. 2 down. Reed back to first. Earlier today, Jack Clark went up to see his car race. There it is, the Ripper.
And it's ripping.
Mike Brumley and Mike Greenwell also went up there. Tom the Mongoose McEwen is the driver.
Know him well.
They won the first heat, but they lost in a photo finish by 8 inches to the eventual winner, Joe Amato, in the second heat. Jack says he wants to drive himself when his baseball days are over.
Well, not too long ago, he fired all of the crew members. He said, hey, I own the team. They're not doing what I want. I fired them all. I said, okay, Jack. Said he felt like an owner.
Well, he did have that.
Team.
He did have that 1 year with the Yankees. 2 down. Foul and out of play. 1 strike to Clark. We've got Lee Guterman, the left-hander, warming up in the Yankees bullpen. All 6 feet 8 inches of him. 2 down in the top of the 5th. Boston is trailing 4-3. They'd like to see Jack hit a big fly here. Reed at first, ready to go on anything here with 2 down. That's out of play. We asked Jack Clark before the ball game about his drag racing team.
Jack Clark Racing. We got a top field drag, so we're about number 6 or 7 in the nation right now in the point standings, and we missed a couple races, had some crew changes, and being the owner manager, I get to make the decisions that I can't hear on the field, which I'd like to a lot of times. So when I felt it was time to make a decision, I changed people, and it's worked out well for everybody, and the car is doing really well.
High fly ball into right center. Now Hall, and Clark is down. He said it worked out well for everybody.
Including the guys he fired, or what?
Speak for yourself, Jack. Yankees have Bernie Williams, Mattingly, and Hall leading 4-3.